If you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, should I buy the TORP TC500 controller? Well, this is the video for you. I wish someone would have made a video like this when I was researching the TORP controller. Every video I watched was from someone who had gotten the TORP controller sent to them for free. So you can't trust their reviews 100%. I actually paid with my own money for this controller, and I got a pretty long story about the whole setup and how it works and if I recommend it. So let's get into it. First off, real quick, if you want a SURRON or a TALARIA or almost any e-bike that's out right now, I could get it for you super cheap. SURRON's for around $3,500 brand new. Hit the link in the description. Okay, so as I said, I purchased the TC500 controller with my own money. It's going to run you right around $1,000 if you want the controller and the TORP display. There's two different displays. One's color, and it's a little larger than the standard display, which is really small, comparable to like an egg writer. So that brings us to the first dilemma. Which display do you purchase? Or do you purchase one at all? So the thing is, you could run your bike without the TORP display. You don't actually need it. But if you do want it, color or standard, well, the price difference is not very different. It's about $30 difference to get the color display. Luckily for me, my decision was easy because the color display was sold out when I got my controller. So I just went ahead and got the regular display. I would say if you're going to order a display, probably just go ahead and get the color display since it's only $30 more, or you can run it without a display. The main thing about my display that I like is it has the battery level on the display, so I don't have to always be looking down at my crotch to see the battery level. Really quick, let's talk about installation. Installation, it's not really that hard. I'm not very handy with the tools, and I did it all myself. The hardest part was taking off the stock SURRON controller. So if you were worried about installation, it's really not that hard. I did have a problem with my installation though. So I got this motor temp sensor warning, and this really threw a wrench in my day. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but TORP customer service was really good and helped walk me through it. And it took me about a week, but finally got everything dialed in. So I was hella bummed for that week. I couldn't ride my bike. I was having trouble figuring out the issues. I started having some buyer's remorse and wondering what the return policy was. I just spent $1,000 on this controller and it wasn't working for me. Not only the controller, but my display actually wasn't working either. So it was a shitstorm. So I was hella bummed. Finally got everything working. Went to take the bike on a test ride, and I hit 50. So once again, I was kind of bummed because my fastest I'd gone on the stock controller was 49 miles an hour. So now I got this $1,000 controller and I only hit 1 mile per hour more than my stock controller. So now I'm messing around with the settings. I'm trying to tune my bike, get it to the best possible place, and I'm still only going 50. I am noticing a lot more torque and power, but I wanted a higher top speed than 1 mile per hour more than my stock controller. So next thing I noticed was my battery wasn't fully charged. So now I'm charging up my battery, I'm making sure there's air in the tires, and then I finally got it working correctly. So at this point, I've had the controller for like 2 weeks, and I still kind of have buyer's remorse. I'm still thinking about, how can I return it? What should I do? I'm just not satisfied up to this point. And then it happened. I hit 54 miles an hour, which was 5 miles an hour over the fastest with the stock controller, but that's not even all of it. I mean, you're getting really good torque and power, much more than your stock controller. Some people say you even get better range with this controller. I'll show you a video when I got home from my ride a few days ago, and it tells you the range.
All right, Done with my ride. About 25 miles today. Top speed's at 50 miles an hour. And on the run, 37% battery still. So, not a bad day.
So on that day, I did 25 miles, all types of different speeds. Still had 37% battery left when I got home. The week before that, I did 35 miles and still got home with plenty of battery left.
What'd you get? 54. Yee!
So that right there was me asking my buddy how fast he got, and he said 54. He's running a setup that is almost identical to mine with the TC500 controller and stock battery. And you know, that's a big part of why I bought this controller, because you can run it with a stock battery. Not many people have $2 to $3 grand laying around for a new battery. So for $1,000, you can get a little bit more top speed, a little more power, a little more torque. So the answer to what you all came here for, is it worth it to get the TORP TC500 for your SURRON running a stock battery? Well, my first 2 weeks, I would have told you no, it wasn't worth it. But now that I've had it for about a month and I've hit 54 miles per hour and I feel the torque and the power, the increase of it all, and you know, now I would say yes, it's definitely worth it to pay $1,000 and get the controller. You can always upgrade your battery when you can afford it, but you can just run the controller with your stock battery. I mean, do you really need to go past 54 miles an hour? I mean, I only hit that speed when I'm trying to test out my top speed. It's not like I'm cruising around at speeds over 50. It's also really nice to have an app on your phone that could tell you a lot of things about your bike. It could help you tune it. It could tell you about your battery. There's a lot of information that you get when you have this TORP controller and the app. So yes, I do recommend it. This is coming from someone who actually bought it himself. It wasn't sent to me for free. Don't forget, if you want a 2024 SURRON or a TALARIA or a 76 bike or anything you could think of except for the eRide Pro, they don't have the eRide Pro. If you want one of these bikes for cheap, hit the link in my description. It's not a scam. It's how I bought my SURRON. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you're running the TC500, leave a comment. What are your settings? How is your tune? How are you liking the TC500? Let's talk about it. So this has been your boy, The Truth, and I'm out.